Initializing Ethereum protocol. Establishing link to Cloud Citadel. Welcome, Alita Army. You stand at the threshold of quantum consciousness.
Hoka, hey, Alita Army, or should I say in this case, Alita Trio. But anyway, welcome to the Alita live stream of December 26, 2025, the best live streams of 2025, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I'm your host, Creek Indian from Denver, Colorado, and I am the only one here. If anybody would like to come on, I guess I'll put the link on the chat, and we can just chat. Now we got a topic, of course, but I mean, there's the link if you just want to come on. But we don't have a large audience today, so it'll be it'll be cool. So yeah, AKA I had a really good Christmas. Most of my family was out of town, so it's just my brother and I were left in Denver. So we went to see Avatar: Way of Water, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit here. But anyway, it was fun. It was a really good movie, and I'll get to it later. Actually, I'll probably get to it right now. How about that? So anyway, like I said yesterday, we did go see Avatar: Fire and Ash. It was, I said a while ago, Avatar: Way of Water. I meant Avatar: Fire and Ash. But anyway, it's really a good movie. Yes, I did mean that, AKA. So anyway, it was a really good movie. It has a really nice story behind it, and the special effects were really great. I mean, just a super movie. I saw some folks on YouTube really rail on it just a little bit, or not rail on it, but maybe not not giving it its due, kind of I don't want to say respect, but kind of give it its due credit or something like that. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's a long movie. It's 3 hours and 50 minutes. But it was worth every minute of it. Now, to date, Avatar: Fire and Ash has made over $500 million, and it's only been out for just a few days. So it's making money. As a matter of fact, at this point in time, for Avatar 1 and 2, it's making more money than Avatar 1 and 2 did. Now, that said, and my estimate you see up there is pretty conservative, I think, because it's possible it's going to make more than that. But at this point in time, in terms of when Avatar came out in 2009 and Avatar 2 came out in 2022, it's ahead. It's way ahead. And both of those, Avatar 1 and 2, made over $2 billion. So I mean. Yes, the interest has not dropped off, AKA. It really hasn't. I mean, it's and the movie's super. It is super. I really enjoyed it. James Cameron did a great job on this thing, I think. And like I say, it's making money. Now, what does that mean for Alita? Well, time will only tell, really. I think the biggest thing that I guess my brother and I took away from this when we went to see it is that the technology behind this is, I mean, golly, it's just unbelievable. And it, it's like you are looking at real aliens, when we talk about the folks on Pandora. And I say folks, the Na'vi, on Pandora. And it was just, it's stunning is the only way I can put it. So if you get a chance, go see this movie. It is really a good movie. You will not regret it. I guarantee it. You won't regret the movie at all. I guess all the actors were really good. I guess I can't remember Worthington's first name, Chris Worthington, maybe, I guess, I don't know. And then Zoe Saldana, and yeah, that's a good idea, aka to see it soon. And even well, one other thing, yes, Sam Worthington, thanks, aka, I appreciate that. Chris, where did I get? I must have been thinking of Chris Evans. I think something like this. But it's really a great movie. Sigourney Weaver, she was great in that movie. I mean, this is one of the implications for Alita. People, will say, or Chris Hemsworth, yeah, maybe, but the thing about the Sigourney Weaver in the story, I guess in the Avatar franchise, Kiri she's probably, in this movie, she appeared to me to be about 18 years old, I guess, a teenager of that age, which would be roughly what Alita is in Alita Battle Angel. But, Sigourney Weaver's over 70 years old. I mean, she's, she just knocked it out of the park. She very accurately played, what you would think a teenager would do, I guess, and what that tells me is that certainly Rosa will have no trouble, with motion capture and that sort of thing. Rosa will have no trouble portraying Alita, because, Alita's about 18, maybe 19 years old, by the end of the movie, I guess, in the Berserker body. And Kiri in Fire and Ash, she's look who's on the chat. That's got to be the Constable Birch himself, probably out there and is trying to get money to buy Alita merch. Is what he's doing. So to me, it's just another verifying point that, Sigourney Weaver, who is definitely one of the best actresses around, or actors around. Yeah, Angelus, that's right. But anyway, being one of the best actresses around for sure, she's, if she can play an 18-year-old, there is no reason to believe that Rosa can't play an 18-year-old. I mean, she certainly can. I mean, Rosa was, what was she, like 33 or 34? And, when Alita first opens her eyes and is in the doll body, she's like 13 or 14 years old, perhaps. And Rosa did a great job there. So motion capture, can do motion capture can allow actors to play play other characters that are like very young, and it's seamless. Yeah. And I guess, yeah, Rosa, I can't remember the exact quote, but I think Rosa said something like she wanted to play Alita until she was like 99, or, who knows, something to that effect anyway. And she does want to play Alita, and, to me, having motion capture makes that real. And when you see Sigourney Weaver playing Kiri in Fire and Ash, you don't know that that's a 70-year-old for sure. Because she is such a great actor herself, and she just really did a superb job. And all of these actors, Stephen Lang, who played Quaritch, he's really, really good. You're gonna really dislike him when you see the movie because he plays a bad guy, in the movie, sort of a bad guy, I guess. And the actor that played the what you see the image on the top there, I can't recall her name now, but God, she was good as well. Every actor in this movie was superb. They were just it was just stunning, and the way they come up with the different animals, that you would think of. Pandora, which is a moon that's orbiting a planet that's in the Alpha Centauri system. It's believable. You know, Stephen Lang is 73. Yeah, that's right. He plays his character Quaritch, I think is his name, character. He plays like a Marine colonel who's probably, I would guess, 40 years old, something like this, maybe 45, you know, for sure. Yeah, don't breathe. That's right. He was also in Tombstone. He played oh gosh, one of the outlaws, or not outlaws, one of the cowboys, which was sort of organized crime ring there in Tombstone, Arizona. And he played that character. Ike Clanton is who he played. And that's many years ago. That was probably 1996 or somewhere in that area. And he was good in that role too, you know. But he's super, and Sam Worthington's great. You know, I mean, I can't say enough about all these actors. They just really did a superb job. And that the woman at the top there, or the alien female at the top, is kind of wearing the red headdress. Oh man, she's plays a witch-like character, and she is she's you know, I mean, it's just really, you know, impactful when you see it, you know. So anyway, you know, go see this movie. It is super. You know, do not miss this movie. I mean, it's really great. You love me some witches. Well, you're going to love that character for sure, you know, because she, oh my gosh, she's almost, you would think of alien evilness, I guess you could say. You know, she's really good at it. So I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, you know, and it's, I think it's worth a watch for you to go see it too, you know. Ah, is that who that is? Angelus? Wow. Great, or granddaughter of Charlie Chaplin. Man, that is amazing. She is really good too. You know, so we got Hybrid out there. You know, hello Hybrid, good to see you as well. And of course, if anybody wants to come on, here's the link. Just click on it. That's all you got to do. We don't have a huge audience out there today, but that's all right. And I can certainly talk about Alita by myself. I ain't worried about that. So, you know, we'll get through this easily, I think. Yeah, I guess it does. You know, I guess Charlie Chaplin's descendants are great actors. So yeah, she's super. You know, really a good actress, or actor, rather. I prefer the term actor over actress. Okay, what do we got here, Angelus? I'm working and the boss is floating around, so I can't join this weekend. Well, that's all right. You know, it's okay. We get it. Work's got to come first. You know, I mean, even I have to work myself, you know, and I know how that is. So, but anyway, go see the movie. I know I've said this 10 times already, but nah, that's all right. AKA, you know, a lot of folks use the term actress. It's all right. I just prefer actor myself. You know, it just kind of puts everybody in the same category, I guess, you know. But don't miss this. Do not miss this movie. Go see it. And I saw it in 3D too, and that, man, it's the underwater scenes. It's kind of like Way of Water in that regard. The underwater scenes are awesome, you know. But you know, just as it's got a great story, it's got action behind it. It's you know, the family that I guess in the Na'vi family, that Sam Worthington and Zoe Saldana's characters, you know, they're like the father and mother of this. It's got a lot of family vibe to it, you know, about the family, you know, the whole thing, you know. Okay, two best types of actors. Yes, our queen, and then everybody else. Exactly, Angelus. And yes, our queen does have a woo. She has it, no doubt. So anyway, yeah, I kind of miss you not being on the stream, Angelus. And now that, you know, we're going to talk about some woo, I suppose, you know. Okay, so I've kind of gone on long enough about Avatar, Fire and Ash. Just Great, great movie. Go see it. Yeah, you do want to watch Avatar 1 and 2 before you see this. I mean, you will get benefit out of it just seeing if you haven't seen the other two, but it's better if you see 1 and 2 first, you know. So you know, I think it is streaming. I think I don't know if you can get it on Disney Plus or not, depending on what country you're in. You know, I don't think we can get Avatar 3 on Disney Plus in America. Maybe we can. I don't know. I'd have to go look. But yeah, it you know, you do want to see Avatar 1 and 2 because they kind of build the foundation, you know, for the movie itself. Because not to spoil too much, if you haven't seen Avatar 1, Sam Worthington's character, which is a Na'vi, is actually he starts out the movie as does Stephen Lang's character, and well, even Sigourney Weaver's character, you know, I mean, not her character, but you know, she was in the movie initially as human, you know, and you know, Stephen Lang and Sam Worthington are both in Avatar 1. They're both Marines, you know, and I don't know if any of you that live in other countries, Marines are pretty serious, you know, military types, you know, and they play those roles very, very well. But their characters now, they're in avatars, you know, basically the physical manifestation of, you know, kind of like telepresence, if you want to think of it, except they're organic. And their DNA and all that's been put together in the movie to where they look like, or where they are actually Na'vi species, you know, and their consciousness gets transferred over to these things and stuff like that. So yeah, but that's the whole thing. That's why you want to see 1 and 2, because 1 and 2 build that foundation, particularly 1. You have to see 1, you know, just to know how this all comes about. Then 2 kind of, you know, continues the story, and then 3 builds on that. So you got to go see it. Go see it for sure. Okay, Avatar, not my cup of tea personally, but for those, yep, holy moly, you won't be disappointed. Yeah, you will not. And you know what's neat about this? At the end, you know, John Landau got producer credits for this because he did work on this, you know, prior to, you know, his passing last year, I guess it was. So he was working on this, and they had a really nice post credit, you know, in memory of John Landau with a picture of him and all that. It's kind of emotional, you know, but that's not emotional like video or anything. But I mean, it's, you know, for us Alita Army types, you see it, it kind of tugs at your heart a little bit, you know. So yeah, but go see it. Let's see what else we got here. See, the day it happens when I was doing the screen and ran the footage all night. Okay, let's see what else here. No, Angelus, they're not AR units. You mean like AR 11 and 12 and AR 6, which would be Zex. So no, they're not. AR 10 and AR 4, you know, no, they're not AR units. So anyway. Okay. I can't wait to see AR units in 3D. Yeah, that'll probably be my guess. You probably, if you know, if we get what we want, and I know Lee has, you know, Lee has said he wants 8 sequels. You know, we have the original movie and 8 sequels, and of course I want that too. And I want new anime, and I want a live action series, and I want all this good stuff, merch, games, you name it, I want it. But for the AR units, if they do, you know, more and more Alita movies, you probably wouldn't see them any earlier than the 3rd movie. At the very end, you might see an AR unit, or you might see it. You probably would see an AR unit in the 4th movie. You know, but I'm no insider. I don't know this. You know, I'm just a fan, just like you guys are. You know. Oh. So she was in the Book of Eli. Is that what she was in, Angelus? That's interesting. Yeah, it is before. Well, yeah, I guess so. Before the credit rolls, but they had a couple of, I guess, a couple of not the credits weren't rolling, but they did have a couple of credits, what I saw, and then they had his picture in memory of and all that. Then they rolled the credits. You're absolutely right there, Angelus. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. An Iron City Monopoly game. Holy mackerel. Volumes in one movie. There probably won't be 8 sequels. Don't say that, AKA you're gonna hurt my feelings. So oh, I see. Yeah, make her. Oh, yes, yes. Eli. Yeah, now I know the Eli you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. She'd be good. As a matter of fact, well, I don't want to spoil. I'll leave it at that. But she's. I mean, she in the movie. I mean, if you can think of an alien being physically attractive, but you see her and she is physically attractive, but she's kind of, even as done up as an alien in VR, I guess, but or with motion capture rather, but oh man, she's evil. She's basically a witch, is what she is. I think, is the way I would categorize her, but she's physically attractive in the movie as an alien, but yeah, she's evil. Really evil. Yeah, I think you meant Eli. Now, if you'd have spelled it like that, Angelus, like AKA did, I would have known who you were talking about. So Angelus said, yeah. Okay, I could go on and on about Avatar, Fire and Ash, but I think we'll just kind of move on here. I just want to remind everybody we still got the LA Fires fundraiser going on. And of course, we've raised $1,600, and all of that money has already gone to the Greater Good charity. It's basically what happens is you donate to this, and then I send the money to go to the Greater Good charity. There's a link below the image on the screen. That link is also down in the description. And you got 3 options when you donate. You click on the donate now. But you have 3 options. You can put your actual name in there if you want, which Angelus and I did, because I'm not concerned, with my name being on the internet, because it's been on the internet for even before I was in the Alita Army. But you can use your internet handle if you want to. I think Blotty did that. He donated. So did Lee, and so did Alita Rave, and I guess Lee Lemon did too, but they specified anonymous. So you got one of 3 ways you can do that. If you don't want any of your personal information, or just say your name out in the internet at large, then you just either use your internet handle or you can use anonymous. Then when you donate, you click on it, then it shows a list of people that have donated. So, and that's why you got to specify one of the 3. So anyway, what is this? Hugo's demise. Is it called Fire and Ash? Because Hugo's demise. No, Angelus. I don't think they're thinking of Hugo in that movie for sure. So yeah, that is cheeky. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so anyway, we want to help the folks out, in LA, and because well, I mean, I was there in November. I went there to see the opening of Play Dirty, which Rosa was in, and she was phenomenal in that movie. I mean, she's phenomenal in damn near anything she does. But I mean, Charlie Smith and I went to that opening, or that I guess the first showing, the premiere. No, it wasn't the premiere. It was the first showing or something in LA. So anyway, but she was great in that. We also got the Alita sequel petition going on, and I think we added maybe 4 signatures from last week, which is not a lot, but it keeps plugging along, you know, it just keeps going and keeps going. Every week, just a few more signatures, but you know, it keeps going up. So, you know, there's a link you see on the below the on the screen. That link is also down in the description. So you can click on that. You have to enter your name and email address. However, you can specify that as anonymous, because once you sign the petition, then you'll get a list of people that have signed the petition. Now you can also donate if you want here as well, you know, to kind of help promote this particular petition for Alita Battle Angel 2. But you know, you don't have to donate. What is this? Oh, yeah, that's right, Angelus. You owe me $40, I think, you know, for that. I think, you know, something like, I can't remember what I put in the DM now, but yeah, we can, we'll settle that up, Angelus. That's no problem, you know. And what is this? Ah. Yeah, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna go see our queen, you know, again, and I hope she's not lurking out there, because I don't want her to know I'm coming. But anyway, you know, because I want it to be a surprise, basically. So anyway, if it isn't, that's okay, you know. But you know, like I say, we got over 178,000 signatures, and if you want to donate and support, you know, to promote the petition, you know, for, you know, the sequel, definitely do that. But you don't have to. You know, if you just signed the petition, you've done your part as a Alita Army member. That link you see there is also in the description as well. Yeah, that's right, AKA. If she is lurking, she knows how much we think of her. So she'll act surprised, maybe, you know. But yeah, we do really, we love our queen to death. I mean, she's great, you know. And speaking of that, I do still have her, the bust of Alita from Queen Studios for her. She told me last year she wanted it, you know, and you know, we'll set that up, you know, as soon as, matter of fact, I'll probably mention it to her again when I go to London. But you know, when she's ready for it, we'll get it to her. But this is not a gift. You know, if she is lurking out there, I hope she knows this isn't a gift. This is for us. This is like an award, and this is our expression to her of our admiration, appreciation, and affection for her, our queen, you know. And I remember at the Pasadena Playhouse, I told her that she was the queen of the Alita Army, and she really liked that. You know, she wasn't aware of it either, because she, you know, she's off the internet. She doesn't really, you know, she got off Instagram, she got off Twitter, and, you know, because of it being toxic, I think is what she said, something to that effect. And I can't blame her. You know, the only reason I'm on Twitter is because you guys are on there. A lot of you, you know, are on there. So anyway, oh, should we get her a crown? Probably. You know, maybe we should, you know, get her several things, I guess. I don't know. We'll talk about that at the next Alita Army, you know, company meeting, I guess. Yeah, for us, this is like an Oscar. That's exactly right. So yeah, we really want to get this to her, and she does want it. Like I said, you know, that's what she told me. But when they greenlight the sequel, that's probably when we'll end up doing this. We also have the Alita Gaming Network going on, and if any of you out there do live streaming, or if you want to do live streaming, you know, I'll help you out with that. So will Chaos Nova, for that matter. You know, we both said, you know, if anybody wants to do streaming or start doing videos, you know, we'll have us like a little class, you know, or something, you know, to teach you how to do it, because you can get a free version of StreamYard. I think Restream also is still out there. You can get a free version of that too, I think. But if you do that, then you can put the link to your streams, you know, in the live streams channel in the gaming network. And I know Maxie, he puts MaxTac Dry. I know he puts the link for Radio Chaos in the gaming network, and I will usually put the link, you know, for the Alita live stream in there. I think Chaos Nova will put a link for his streams when he streams. He doesn't stream as often as say we do, because we do it every week, but he does it occasionally, and when he does, he puts that link in there. We also have a fan fiction channel, and if you do fanfics like Lee Lemon does and like Maxie, they both have, you know, like novel level fanfics that they put out there. Channel does not exist has she has several fanfics out there. And Panini Freak has a fanfic out there, and even yours truly, The Creek, has got a fanfic out there. So, you know, you can go click on that channel, and you know, it's like new content for Alita. You know, now it's not canon and all that for sure, but you know, it's another story about Alita. And if you're hungry for that, you go in the fanfic channel. If you do your own artwork, or let's say you do videos, you can post those in the user creations channel, and people will see it. If you do content that's not Alita related, but or maybe even loosely Alita related, you can put that in the off-topic channel if you want, and you know, folks will see that as well. So you know, for instance, if you do something like, I think Angelus did something on Stellar Blade. He put a couple of videos out there on Stellar Blade. You know, I mean, Stellar Blade is, you know, its inspiration is Alita Battle Angel, but, you know, certainly it's not Alita Battle Angel. So, but, you know, it's okay. You can put that out there. We have 3 voice channels, and those channels are not streamed. Those channels are just you guys, if you're a member of the network. It's like GoToMeeting, or say Microsoft Teams or Zoom. It's like that. You know, you get into that channel. Other people in the network you can invite, and you know, they can get in the channel with you, and you just talk. You can turn your camera on if you want. You don't have to turn your camera on. It's up to you, and you can talk about anything you want in any one of those 3 channels. We do have a watch party. Well, we actually got 2 channels, but only one of the channels do we do the actual watch party, and that particular channel is very similar to the voice channels. You know, in the voice channels, you can share your screen and that kind of thing. You can do the same thing in the watch party channel. But what we do with the watch party channel is we will, like, it's almost like informing, you know, the rest of the members of the gaming network in the watch party text channel that, hey, we're going to have a watch party on this date. Or you can do it impromptu and just put something, hey, we're having a watch party. Now, I haven't done a watch party for a while. The last watch party that I did was on September 9th, Alita Day. And we watched, of course, as you probably guessed, we watched Alita Battle Angel. So anyway, but we've watched other things. We've watched The Trouble with Edward, which was Rose's Star Trek short. We watched Good Crazy. We watched Chariot. You know, and I just enjoyed all of those. I mean, you know, I just love watching Rosa act. I mean, she's really good, you know. But we've even watched some stuff that are kind of Alita inspired, if you want to say, or similar to Alita. Like, for instance, we watched an episode of the anime of Ghost in the Shell. And we also watched the live action movie with Scarlett Johansson in the Watch Party channel. We even watched Rollerball one time, and that was pretty good. You know, we enjoyed that. Rollerball's a lot like Motorball, so we decided to watch that as well. Now, you see the link below our Chibi Alita mascot. That link is down in the description. If you don't have a Discord user ID, when you click on that, if you want to join the network, they'll ask you to join. And they have a basic service that's free, and that's what I've got. You know, I don't pay for the, you know, the Discord username. Now, if you want to get fancy and get a lot more, you know, kind of capabilities and IT assets and stuff like that, then you can get Nitro and stuff like that. And I don't know how much it costs, but it's not really expensive. But you know, if you want the free version, that's all you need to join the gaming network. You'll get an invite once you click on that particular link. then you just accept the invite. You come in, people will welcome you. They'll have those little gifts, that of various cute little avatar, not avatar looking, but kind of almost like emojis or whatever, that are waving hi and welcome to the channel and stuff like that. I haven't been on it for about a week to 10 days, but I think it's got about, it may have around 50 members. It's pretty small. we're not really pushing it or promoting it. The only places where we let this out, I guess, is on Radio Chaos, and on this channel we promote it like this, but we're not really pushing it hard, because I think a lot of people in the network kind of enjoy this network rather being small, because it's real intimate. So anyway, join. We have a lot of fun with it, and I think you'll have fun with it too. Okay, well, I'm gonna, even though I don't have anybody here, we're gonna go through this. Best live streams of 2025, and my criteria for this is basically it's kind of a combination of how many views and how much time. One of the, I can't recall which one of them, but one of them has quite a few views, or a good amount of views. I mean, certainly the number of views that I get on these live streams aren't like what some YouTubers get, but it's significant. But anyway, we've done like 6 streams specifically, and they are based on X amount of views, that kind of thing. And one of them that we did that was pretty popular was in the beginning, was what will Alita be like in the sequels, and I got some slides following this, so I think you'll like that. And then we about a week later we did another one, the parallels between Alita Battle Angel and Cyberpunk 2077. So that was a neat stream. We also discussed whether or not Alita will kill Nova in any of the sequels. So we discussed that. Another really popular one, I think this one got like 500 views, I think, which is not a huge number, but it's not bad, but would Alita be able to adjust to like a normal life? Like almost, for instance, if you were to teleport her back to the 21st century, and she's just a normal person, she's not a hunter warrior, she's not a motor baller, she's just a person, how would she adjust? Just being an average person, because Alita is not just an average cyborg, particularly in that berserker body. She's she's superhero level, capable is what she is. Now, she's not a superhero, but she does have that level of capability, certainly the speed that she can run, and the fact that she has has that plasma weapon, and she knows Panzerkunst, makes her a really formidable opponent. And I think we've done streams in the past, in previous years, where we've actually said, how would she fit in the Justice League as an example, or say the Avengers? I mean, she could, because she has that level of capability, but now she's just a person. How well will she do? One we did here a couple of months ago was all about the Imaginos body. Because in the Imaginos body, if you remember, she's got a brain chip in that one. She's not a cyborg in that. In the Imaginos body, she's an android. So her consciousness has been transferred into a memory chip, or a computer chip, I guess, a CPU, I guess you would call it, a brain chip. And what's behind that? And we had a pretty good discussion on that. That got a lot of views. That one did. And then one that's funny, last Friday, I wasn't expecting this, but last Friday, we didn't have a large audience for how Alita would celebrate Christmas. But, and we had just a little bit larger audience certainly than we got here. But, once, we finished the stream, like within a day, I had 150 views on it. So, and that's because of most of my, subscribers are in Asia. So, and I got like over a little over 300,000 subscribers, and like 3/4 of them are in Asia. So, you know, so they're in a different time zone. So they are, you know, they're in bed, you know, basically when we're doing the stream live. So they, you know, they look at it afterwards. And then, as you guys are all aware, we had like 9 episodes of Lee Lemon reading Ghost in the System, the Alita Battle Angel story, his fanfic. And those are really cool. What is this, AKA? Excuse me. Oh, I will. Well, I can talk about his fanfic. There's no, you know, I can do that. That's not a problem. You know, because I've read just about all of it. I think I'm up to chapter 26 or something like that, and he's got like 30 chapters. So I've just about read all of it. You know, I keep promising him that I'll finish up reading the last 3 or 4 you know, chapters that he has, but I get caught up at work and stuff like that. And of course, this past week I had work the first 2 days, and then we had Christmas after that, so I wasn't able to read any this week. But I'll go over the, you know, there's 9, summarize. I'm not going to read all of them, you know, because we'd be here till 4 o'clock in the morning, or 12 hours from now we'd be here, you know. But there's like 9 of these different episodes. Well, yeah, we can talk about it without him, and certainly you can, you know, folks in the chat, you know, just put stuff in the chat, and we'll address that as well. Okay, the first one that we did, what will Alita be like in the sequels? We did this on January the 17th of this year, and basically what we talked about is certainly we talked about what we think is going to be in Alita 2 and 3, because I think James Cameron has written notes or treatments or whatever you want to call it, you know, or scripts, you know, or at least drafts of a script perhaps, of Alita Fallen Angel and Alita Avenging Angel. Ah, guess who just showed up? Maxie.
Ahoy, is my microphone working?
Yes, it is. Good day, mate.
G'day. I'm sitting in my car outside my Outlaw's house.
Oh, cool. Well, you haven't missed a whole lot. I mean, we talked a lot about Avatar Fire and Ash, because I wanted to pump it a little bit, because I think it has implications for Alita. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
And Maxie, just so you know, and I think Charlie Smith, you may have seen this in the DMs in the Alita Army organization group chat. It's made over $500 million already. It's only been out how many days? Maybe, what was it? Been a week, maybe? I don't know, something like this. And it's already made $500 million. So it's ahead. Well, I'll go ahead and put this. Let me put the.
Only $500 million. Chump change.
Yeah, well, for James Cameron's movies, yes, chump change. Yeah, but it's ahead of where Avatar 1 and 2 were at this time. Now, I don't think it's, I don't know, who knows? I hope it does. I think it's going to make about 1.5 billion, but you know, I don't know what I'm talking about. This is just a wild ass guess on my part, and you know, you keep hearing the, you know, the common knowledge, I guess, or the acceptable knowledge is that, you know, each sequel falls further behind in money making, you know, but God, it's so far, it's killing it, you know, so far. And I know I was telling everybody here that, which is not a lot of people, but, you know, I was telling them that, you know, most of my family, extended family and so forth, you know, went out of town, you know, for Christmas, you know, all their significant others went to see their families, you know, that kind of thing. And so, you know, Wayne and I, we went to, you know, we went to see Fire and Ash yesterday, and the theater was full. And this was at 11 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day, and the theater was full. I mean, unbelievable on Christmas Day. You know, I mean, you wouldn't expect that on Christmas Day. You know, but it's ahead of where the other two Avatars. we're at this point in time. Whether or not it continues this rate, we'll see. I hope it does. I hope it blasts my estimate, which is 1.5 billion is what I think. But, of course, I went on and on about this, but the implications for Alita, of course, is the main thing that, I was telling the folks in the chat that the technology, I mean, this movie is not only just it's got a super story, but the visuals are stunning. I mean, it's like Avatar 2, in that regard, it's unbelievable. I mean, I don't know how, I can't describe it. You got to go see it. That's the only thing. But my thought is, okay, as they improve this technology, one of the implications is how much better are they going to be able to do the Alita sequel, because they've improved the technology as time goes on, So anyway, we'll see.
We have things to look forward to.
Yes, we do. Anyway, this is Maxie. This is where we got to right here. We haven't really hit too much on the, where we were. So I mean, I've got like 6 of the Alita live streams that I think were the best. And I base that objectively. I didn't say subjectively like what I liked. I went back and looked how many views, stuff like that, likes and that kind of thing. I'm not as good as, or at least I don't collect statistics like Maxie's going to do tomorrow. Like we're going to have.
I've already done it, man. It's in the show notes.
Oh, cool. I'll go get that and I'll update. I've already got the presentation finished, but I just needed those stats, so I could put them on a couple of slides, so, but I've got everything else, all the other slides are done. It's like 50 odd slides. So we're ready for tomorrow, pretty much. But anyway, what we were talking about, the first one was one we did back in January the 17th. And we talked about, kind of what Alita is going to be like in the actual sequels. Like in Fallen Angel, she's going to be a motorballer, type thing. She's trying to forget Hugo. We talked about this on this stream. And in Alita 3, this is where she's going to probably, I don't know how James Cameron's got this organized, obviously, but maybe, Alita 3 might at least be part of it's going to be in the Badlands arc. And in that case, she's kind of going to be off the rails a little bit. So she'll be a little bit different there, as well. And yeah. Yeah, your boy's out there, Maxie. There he is, right there. He's
yes.
There he is. And
yeah, I had lunch with Angelus yesterday.
Oh, did you now?
Yep.
Holy moly, you guys! Now this is twice, isn't it?
Yeah, we went back to the same place because it was so good. It's a Goyoza place in the middle of Bris Vegas.
Ah, nice, nice. Yeah, I can't wait to get down there to see you guys eventually. I'll get there eventually, But man, I'll tell you, international travel is a lot different than it was when I went to England in 2017. On business, it's different now. So I've been getting prepared for it. So we'll see how it goes in England, and then maybe the next year or something like that. We can. We could get down there to Aussie land, so it looks like lunch with
when you come here, you might be able to come watch Alita Fallen Angel with us. That would be good.
You betcha. Oh, that would be perfect, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. It would be absolutely perfect. Yes, indeed. Lunch with a Pope is always fun. Pope of the Alita.
Yeah, I brought the mini Pope with me as well, so my son was there.
Cool. What do they call the I guess the Pope's assistant? What they call him, assistant Pope or something? I don't know. I'm not a Catholic, so I wouldn't have an idea, But anyway, Lost Link is out there. Yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Same to you, Lost Link. Glad you could join us. And then, of course, last on this bullet list right here, what's next in 2025? At this point, we were hoping that, you know, a lot of the Alita Army was hoping that we would get an announcement for the Alita sequels, you know, and we kind of discussed that here as well, you know. Oh, looks like Angelus wants to make it to Austin, Texas. So, you know, what the idea here might be, Maxie, is that maybe if Angelus flies over here for the premiere, and then we fly back to Straya. So
yeah, that'll work.
Kind of cool, and then see Alita again. That would be the thing to do, wouldn't it? Yeah, and that's what we're going to do. You know, Vladi's going to see Rosa tomorrow, and you know, he's going to wear his Alita Army shirt, so she'll spot him. You know, that kind of thing. So that'll be pretty cool. Ah,
Yeah, I was wearing a Panzer Kunst shirt yesterday.
Nice. The Saiyan Jedi is out there. All right, welcome aboard, Saiyan Jedi. And of course, you know, as we do every year, you know, we really want that sequel, and we're letting Disney know, and we did in this particular stream right here. We let them know we are waiting for that sequel. And the prevailing thought here is we were hoping to see it in 2025. So anyway, any thoughts, Maxie?
Well, I'm thinking that you've missed out on the Zerkapan arc.
No, I think what I think, Maxie, is that well, this is my opinion. I have nothing to go on but just my opinion. That Alita 2 will be it will be the Motorball arc and the Zerkapan arc. That's going to be a 3-hour movie. That's what I hope it's going to be.
Well, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. Now, if they only do one, if they just do, say, the Motorball arc, I think it might be a little thin if they did that, unless they beef it up somehow. But I think the Motorball arc and the Zerkapan arc, you know, would be perfect for Alita 2, and then Alita 3 could be the Badlands arc, or at least a good portion of it, you know, or part of it. So, you know, the nuclear train and stuff like that. You know, actually, the nuclear train could be at the very tail end of Alita 2. And then you go
That's
on.
where I'd put it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, you know. So, yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, no, I haven't missed it. I just, you know, this is just what we talked about on the sequels. And I think in this stream, we had a difference of opinion, of course, as we normally do, you know, which is a good thing, you know. Angelus says 2026 will be our year. Okay. So anyway, but yeah, that, you know, I guess we had a discussion. I think, I can't recall who was on the stream. I probably should have made a note of that, but I think one of the folks on the panel said they thought that'd be too much, you know, that maybe just the Motorball arc, you know, just her maybe being, you know, civilian body Alita for a while, you know, and then going right into Motorball arc, you know, and then maybe combine those two somehow, would be a 2-hour movie perhaps. And of course, myself, and I think Angelus was on here, we want the 3-hour movie, and we want the Zerkapan arc and the I guess oh God, now my brain's not working now. You know, the Motorball arc would be in Alita 2, 3-hour movie, and her doing a little bit of the civilian body Alita in Alita 2, you know, singing in the Kansas bar and stuff like that. We talked about whether or not Rosa, you know, we want to see Rosa sing, you know, in Alita 2 in the Kansas bar and playing maybe keyboard or something like that, you know, which I don't know if she can play the keyboard or not, but they can fake that, I guess. What's this?
Well, I mean, in the original movie, Rosa can't do handstands and shit and finger stands, so they got a woman from Cirque du Soleil in to do it.
Yes.
So I can't see why they couldn't just get a keyboardist in to do that scene for the keyboard playing. I mean,
Well,
it's like stunt people, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's why they have, like doubles, and and stunt people and stuff like that. That's why they're there, because I think one of the interviewers on Young Hollywood asked her if she actually did that one finger stand. She said no. And she said, that they got somebody from Cirque du Soleil to do that, so. Saying Jedi says, I think Alita 2 could be a darker movie with Alita wanting revenge for Hugo against Nova. I agree with that. Yeah, I think her personality in Alita 2 is going to be different than it was in Alita 1. I think it will be, because she's she's taken a gut punch, mentally, emotionally. She's just pretty much been drugged through the mud emotionally, losing Hugo and stuff like that. And that's going to have an effect on her in that movie, because in the manga, you remember, she's playing motorball to forget Hugo, and in the manga, she's different. She's a lot more, I don't know what's the word I could use, maxi aggressive, or not aggressive maybe, but caustic or something. It's hard to say, and her and Hugo.
Well, she's hurt, and she's striking out against people around her.
Yeah, that's right.
Because reactive.
Yes, exactly. So, and I think that'll come out in Alita 2, and Alita 3. That's where she's, my opinion only, and I have nothing to base this on. In Alita 3, in the Badlands arc, this is where she's going to meet Figure 4. And then her personality is going to change again, because she's going to rediscover her humanity. So, I think that'll have play a big part, in Alita 3 anyway. So
if you have a look at other big sci-fi trilogies, and I'm going to use Star Wars because everybody knows it. If you look at the way the sort of tone goes for the 3 original Star Wars movies, you start out with like sort of an adventure sort of feel, and then you've got that big threat at the end, and then the threat's dealt with, and then the second movie, which is Empire Strikes Back, the tone's a lot darker, and things start to go really bad for the rebellion, and they're almost wiped out, and all sorts of shit's going down, and the stuff between Luke and Vader and all that stuff, and finding out that Leia's his sister and all these things. It's sort of quite dark in the middle of Star Wars, and then the third movie starts out pretty dark with Han Solo captured and C-3PO and R2-D2 having to go into Jabba's palace, and everything looks pretty freaking awful, and then the hero shows up and basically solves the problem, and then things sort of go up from there. They've got another Death Star to deal with, and it's got more adventure-y again, but there's a lot of dark moments, and then finally there's a resolution at the end. So if you sort of look at that trajectory, I can see the Alita movies running not exactly to that, fairly similar, where the middle movie is going to be quite dark. It's going to have brokenhearted Alita playing motorball. It's going to have her trying to get up to Zalem. It's going to have the Zerkapan thing happening, and that's really dark because like half the city gets destroyed, and friends of Alita gets killed, and she basically gets trashed. And then by the start of the third movie, she's under the control of the MIB, and the only thing that's left for her, like she's lost Ito, and the only things left for her is combat and vengeance against Nova. So I don't know exactly how they're going to swing the story now that they've got Nova as the leader of Zalem rather than Professor Nova, who runs off out into the Badlands to the Granite Inn. But I do think that it's going to have somewhat a similar trajectory to the Star Wars movies, in that the middle one's going to be really dark.
I agree 100%. That's exactly what I think is going to happen too. I think Alita 2 is going to be very dark, and I think she's going to be, now it may not, the darkness will probably, in my opinion, will gradually, increase through the movie, because at the beginning of the movie, she's going to be playing, in the Kansas bar and singing and stuff like that. And it'll appear like it's not going to be so dark, but she's putting on a face when she's in there singing, and then I think for the rest of the movie, she's going to be in a pissy mood to begin with, because, she's going to be, depressed, because Hugo's gone, and it's going to influence everything else she does in that movie. So, and then that's what I think. So anyway, that's what I hope. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
Okay. Well, anyway, going on to the next one. The next week, we did a stream about the parallels between Alita Battle Angel and Cyberpunk 2027. And as I recall, this was a somewhat short stream. I think Channel was on with us in this stream, and we talked about the various characters. Now, I don't know much about Cyberpunk 2077. We talked about the woman that you see there at the top on the right is similar to Alita in some ways, I think. I mean, she's different for sure, but she's kind of like a really good fighter and stuff like that. And then you see that character looks like Keanu Reeves. No, it's not Erica, aka I can't remember her name though. Anyway, but there's another character you see with the sunglasses, looks like Keanu Reeves, and he's Johnny something or other. I can't remember.
Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah, Johnny Silverhand. There you go. Yeah, that's right. V. Yeah, the woman's name is V. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Saiyan Jedi. Excellent. And then the guy you see in the center there, it looks like Idris Elba. Oh, no problem there, Creek. I'm Creek. Jesus. My head's not in it today for some reason after Christmas. Well, my head's in
too much eggnog. Too much eggnog.
Yeah, it's in with Alita. It's in sync with Alita, but it's Christmas was different. But anyway, yeah, V, that's right. And then the character in the center there on the right looks like Idris Elba. I don't know what his name is either, but he has a role and that kind of stuff. And we just kind of compared them with like like Zapan and maybe Johnny Silverhand and some others, and how Johnny Silverhand, now he's not a zombie, but he's like, he comes back, doesn't he, or something like that. So I don't know.
Isn't he like a ghost in the machine? Like kind of
something like that. Yeah, something like that, And of course, it's in that Night City setting, which is a dystopian, kind of a world, type thing. Very similar in a lot of ways to Iron City, So, and we talked about that. Now, as I recall, that stream was somewhat short, but maybe a little over an hour and 15 minutes. And we talked about the various storylines, because each one of those characters has a different arc and stuff like that, So, and of course, this is a game. So it's a little bit different in that regard, but there are some parallels with Alita Battle Angel, and we even talked about how if Alita was to get into a fight, let's say with V, or get in a fight with Johnny Silverhand or so forth, how would she do and stuff like that, and I don't recall what the consensus was, but
well, it depends what body she's in, but if she's in the Berserker body, she wins.
If she's in the Berserker body, certainly wins. And if she's in the Imaginos body, it's game over.
The game didn't even start, man.
Yes. Well, the thing about, I think what I do know of Cyberpunk 2027 is that the big I guess you could say villain, or the overall overarching evil influence is the corporation, I guess, and I don't recall the name of that corporation. But
Arasaka.
there you go. Thanks, Maxie. You're not only a pope for Alita, but you're a pope on Cyberpunk.
Well, actually, I think I've known more about Cyberpunk than I did about Alita, because I think Cyberpunk started a little earlier than Alita did. Yeah, I think the original Cyberpunk 2020 role-playing game, which is set 5 years ago, which is scary.
Yes. Yes.
I knew details about that because I used to play it. So that, I think that was in the late 80s, before Koshiro started writing Gumu. So I mean, I think Cyberpunk 2020, like the Cyberpunk genre, this particular story, is a little bit older than Alita by a year or so.
Yeah, I think so. Well, that's another thing we talked about. Which one had the biggest influence? And I think Alita. I don't think Cyberpunk actually pushed Koshiro, but you're right. It was first. It came out a little earlier than Alita, but it's remarkable that they were independently, come up with like that. And there's a lot of similarities in them, But I guess that another thing we talked about, that's the nature of the beast when you're putting together these kind of cyberpunk dystopian worlds. They're all similar in that way, I guess.
Yeah, I've been reminded about cyberpunk details from Edge Runners as well, which I watched. I think it was 2 years ago now, which was very good. The anime, Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I've never seen it. No.
Oh, you should. It's so good. It's very dark at the end, much like the vibe of Alita's world. But yeah, it's kind of live fast, die young, and leave a mutilated corpse, because bad things happen.
Whoa. Okay. Well, I always thought Alita, Battle Angel at the very end, Alita was more like, manga Alita, than particularly, running vector through and he's unarmed. But of course, he's being inhabited by or controlled by Nova, But, I thought, yeah, that's our girl right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, as Rosa said when she was being interviewed back when the movie came out, that she deliberately played Alita sort of with a higher pitched voice and using a form which seemed very young at the beginning. And then when she was in the Berserker body, she let her own personal maturity come out in the character because she'd grown up, kind of deal. So I suspect that going forward with Alita, sad and bent on revenge and justice and all that sort of thing, that there'll be a lot of other sides of Rosa coming through and playing the character as a mature woman. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh,
I think it's going to be good.
Another thing I'm looking forward to in Alita too is her getting in an arm wrestling match with Joshigan, and maybe having like a little bit of a way of taking her heart out and say, if you beat me, you can have my heart and destroy it, or something like that. I mean, it's like she's in such I think she's suffering from depression, clinical depression, and she don't care whether she lives or dies, basically, and then she's going to put everything on the line. I'm going to kick your ass, Joshigan, so kind of thing. And if I can't do that, then hell, what's the worth living? I don't have Hugo anyway. So, I think that's going to be her makeup in Alita too. That's anyway, my thought on that. So,
so I was just going to say, in response to Cyan Jetta's comment about he hasn't read the Alita mangas, you don't need to, man. All you need to do is go back to the Radio Chaos episodes, because we've been having a manga episode roughly once a month.
Yes.
And we've gone through the entirety of the original manga series, because we've been going for like 5 years now. So you can just go back and look up the Radio Chaos episodes on the Alita Army channel, hashtag Alita Army, one word. And you can basically follow along. I've basically read the entire manga to the live stream. So
Yes.
that's been my input, because I've been reading the manga since 1992. So bit of experience with it. But we had a lot of fun with those, and we just wrapped them up at Christmas last week with Holy Night side story. So there is one other side story that we're going to cover, and then we're moving on to Last Order.
Oh,
So
I'm wait to see that. That's going to be great. Yeah.
19 volumes, man. We're going to be at it until 3032.
Oh yeah. Yo, we got enough content to do all this stuff for years if we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Kishiro just keeps on drawing.
Plus, he's doing the Panzer Kunst Chronicles, so he's building on that. You know, so.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, I've always wanted to see Alita's training arc through her teenage years, and that big battle that's been mentioned a couple of times between her and Erica, where she actually kills Erica before she goes off to do that mission. Now, what was the name of the mission again?
Mal Wharf.
Mal Wharf. That's what it was.
Operation Mal Wharf, yeah.
So yeah, I'm very interested to see that drawn, because it's been one of those things that's been in the lore for decades, but we've never seen it.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be great. Yeah, I think the biggest parallel we came away with in this stream here was that the similarities between Iron City and Night City. I think we saw a lot of parallels. Saying Jedi, I don't think we'll see Erica and Alita 2. If we see her at all, we might see her at the end of Alita 3, maybe. Of course, it depends on what Cameron wants to do here. But I would think, of course, if Lee and I get our way and we get so many of these sequels, it would probably be in Alita 4 or 5 before we really see her, injected into the story, so we might see her at the end of Alita 3, but, I'm not sure, not sure.
Creaky?
Yeah.
Do you remember back to my last reading of my fan fiction?
I do indeed.
Erica was in it in a flashback.
Yes, she was. Yeah.
So that would be the only way I could see Erica coming into the story.
Yeah, that's right.
At least in the first 3 movies.
Well, she's not really in the Badlands arc per se, is she? She's, she comes on later, so we don't see her until Last Order, and then of course at the end of Mars Chronicles we see her. But anyway. Okay. Oh, guess who just showed up? I'm glad Lee showed up, because we're going to talk about his. We're going to talk about those ghosts in the system there, Lee.
Sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
Completely lost track of time with everything that's been going on.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I was a little late as well, so Creaky was here by himself monologuing.
Aha.
Hey, I had no problem with it either. I mean, I can ramble about Elite. Of course, I ramble a lot about Avatar, Fire and Ash. It's really superb. But I have no problem talking about Alita by myself. That's not an issue for me. Okay. Well, anyway, Lee, how are things down there in Fountain, Colorado?
Oh, going pretty good.
Cool.
Had family over and spent a nice time with them. And
oh, I know what I wanted to tell Maxie. Maxie was saying how it gets hot down there in Straya during Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The temperature yesterday was 71 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 21 degrees Celsius. So, yeah, I mean, now we're supposed to get like an inch of snow tomorrow, which is weird. I mean, we have 70-degree weather. We get 20-degree weather, in one day, and then 2 days later we get 0-degree weather Celsius, so.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody broke the thermostat on the planet, I think.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody's messing with it. Maybe it's Nova, I don't know. All right, well, we can move on from this one. And then, of course, in February the 21st, we talked about, will Alita kill Nova in the sequels? And I think this was another fairly short stream, short for me. I mean, maybe a little over an hour, hour and 15 minutes, perhaps. What we did note in this was that Alita does kill Nova in the manga. Now, he's like a bad penny. He keeps coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You can't kill the sucker permanently. He's going to come back, you know, because he's got that nanite cloud, you know, that's kind of rebuilding him whenever he gets injured or killed or whatever, you know. So, and then of course, once again, we did talk about will Alita kill Nova in Alita Fallen Angel, or will she kill him in Alita Avenging Angel? You know, we because we don't know what, you know, what's going to happen in the two sequels. You know, we have a lot of you know, conjecture about, you know, Alita Fallen Angel being the Motorball arc and the Zerkerpan arc, and Alita Avenging Angel being the beginning of the Badlands arc. And of course, in that setting, if they follow the manga, she's looking for Nova in the Badlands arc. She's trying to, you know, the MIB has sent her out to find Nova. Is it MIB, Maxie, or the GIB that's sent her out? I don't.
It's a GIB, Ground Inspection
GIB.
Bureau.
Okay, yeah. So they want his ass. So they send Alita out after him, you know, and that would be in the Badlands arc, which would probably be Alita 3, you know. And I think everybody on the panel, I think Lee was on just about every one of the streams. I think we all agreed that yes, Alita's going to kill Nova, but no, he's not going to stay dead. I think that was the consensus, I think, you know.
Yeah.
So thoughts?
I think after the first few times that Alita went close to or killed Nova, he realized that he needed more a more permanent solution, and that's when he came up with the nanite cloud and backing his brain chip up.
Okay.
So he can rebuild flesh anytime he wants thanks to his nanites.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of making sure that his brain and his memories don't get fragmented, but they do anyway because the system works too well. And every time he dies, but he resurrects his own body, he gets another copy of himself, and that's why we end up with so many Novas.
Well, Saiyan Jedi says that she could humiliate him and make him feel her pain. I think we did talk about, not about humiliating him, but making him feel her pain before she kills him, you know. But of course, once again, we all agreed he's not going to stay dead. He's gonna rejuvenate, you know. So he's not going away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anyway, thoughts, Lee? Do you remember this one? Because I think you were on this one, if I recall. But
Yeah. If we're talking about the movie, I'm not sure Cameron would go for a overpowered nanite resurrection system.
yeah, he may not.
So I suspect it'll be more like Aga Mbadi. When she killed him, he stayed dead.
Yeah.
At least as far as we're aware.
Yeah. Yeah, she pretty much took care of Olaga Embody, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
So he's more powerful than Nova too, isn't he? So
to a degree, I think, yeah.
But she's
Politically, yes.
Say again, Maxie?
Politically, yes.
Yes.
But not necessarily technologically.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, but she's in the Imaginos body in that area in the Last Order. So yeah, she's going to kill damn near anything she wants. So, so one thing we did, I think, also talk about, I can't recall if it was here or in some other stream, about how she's a little bit arrogant, you know, in the Imaginos body. I mean, she still has her humanity. She still, you know, cares for people and stuff like that, but she's kind of overpowered, particularly in that Imaginos 2 body, you know. And she's, from what I remember, Maxie, you're the Pope, you remember, but I think she is arrogant at a few points, isn't she?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seem to recall somebody mentioning an interview where Kishiro mentioned that he didn't much like the direction she was taking in that part of the story.
That's probably why he put her back in that original Martian body at the end of Mars Chronicles too, because
possibly
after she came back from Venus, you know, she didn't have the Imaginos body. She was in that military titanium body or whatever that thing was. You know? So,
I think that might be part of it. I suspect he put her back in that mainly because the power creep got out of hand.
Yeah, I think so. He didn't want her OP, did he?
Yeah, she was.
It's not just power creep though. The way I look at it, anything built by Nova is going to affect the person living in that structure, and Nova's arrogance, I feel, might have bled out of the Imaginos body into her. So he was having more of an effect on her than usual, you might even say.
Oh, then you think maybe he put some of his own memory or conscious or sentient engrams of some sort into her when he rebuilt her at the beginning of the Last Order, huh?
Well, he had to rebuild her brain from fragments. Now, I don't care how good he is.
Yes.
There would have been gaps that he would have had to fill in, and knowing him, he would have filled them in with arrogance and spite.
Yeah, because he himself is arrogant.
Pretty much.
Narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopathic, you name it.
Unbalanced.
Yeah.
You name it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just want to respond to DS Lituko. I don't know how to say that properly. F for Rebecca, very much so. Rebecca was my favorite character in Edge Runners, and was a real shame when she bit the bullet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got to.
You need to watch Edge Runners, Creaky. It's on Netflix.
Okay, I'll check it out. Well, I know when you told me to watch a certain scientific railgun, I kind of enjoyed that. You know, I kind of I can't recall the character's name, but the two that are roommates are always fussing and fighting with each other, which I think is hilarious.
But yeah, I saw Edge Runners too. It's definitely worth a watch.
Okay, any other thoughts about this one? Well,
unless you want a live stream going 5 hours, you may need to go through these a little quicker.
Yeah, because it's an hour and a half. Of course, I ran my mouth a lot at the beginning of the stream. So anyway, we'll get there. It's not a problem. And you know, Maxie, I'm not averse to going over 2 hours. You know this. So.
Well, I got 21% left on the battery of my phone. It's plugged into the charger, but it's going faster than the charging's going.
All right,
so you could lose me.
Use a little time management here, I guess. Okay. Well, anyway, on June the 13th, we had a stream called "Would Alita Adjust to Normal Life?" And basically, you know, what we were thinking is that if Alita, you know, if she wasn't a hunter warrior, of course, we did talk about her being a hunter warrior and a motorball pro. We did talk about that. But if she didn't have, if she wasn't involved there, you know, I mean, and she just was living a normal life, how would she adapt? You know, I mean, what would she be like? You know, and some of the things that we did discuss was that, you know, she did, in the manga particularly, she does have her own apartment. She was an entertainer at the Kansas bar. She sung in the Kansas bar, playing the keyboard, you know, and of course that we all agreed we want to see Rosa play the keyboard and sing in Kansas bar, you know, or Kansas bar 2, I guess. And she does help Ito around the clinic, you know, and she does that in Lee's story too, which we'll talk about that when we get to it. But she's a big help there. And of course, in the movie, you know, Ito tells Shirin that Alita is his new assistant, you know, so evidently, and she did sit there when she kind of rebuilding that one cyborg that got jacked. You know, she was, you know, giving him tools and stuff like that, and doing a thing that an assistant would do, you know. And then, of course, in the manga, she also teaches martial arts in her own dojo, you know. And I think Lee has that in his fanfic as well. She's got kind of like a little separate, like, training area where, you know, she, I guess, Lee, you might have picked that up from the manga, but, you know, where she can
in part of it was also kind of her separating a little bit from Ito, not
Yeah.
necessarily the way she did to the extent in the manga, but mostly she made herself her own little personal space, her own little sort of sanctuary to get away from things.
Just for her me time. So,
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I actually have plans in my fanfic for her to pull away from Ito.
Oh, I kind of gathered that with that one chapter that I think she and Joshigan were talking, and he mentioned something about sacrifices that warriors had to make, or something.
Oh yeah, that was a bit of foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of that.
Yeah, saying Jedi, she would be a superstar in anything she does, I think. Anyway, we even talked about hobbies. You know, now one of the things we did take away from in this stream in terms of coming from the manga, that we certainly identified jogging, because that's something that she did well, I wouldn't call it jogging in the movie. You know, she was just running across the top of those the roof of those buildings, you know, where
that's more parkour.
Yeah, parkour. That's right, where she was going to find Hugo. And she was doing a similar thing in Sonic Finger, you know, where and in Sonic Finger, you get the impression that she does that like anybody else would do, like a daily jog, you know, because she had like
her morning exercise, basically.
Yeah, that's right, where she had sweatpants on, stuff like that, you know. And of course, that's when Sonic Finger, shot one of those ball bearings or whatever those things were and hit her.
Yeah, they were ball bearings.
Yeah, hit her inside the head. So we figured, well, you know, maybe jogging is a thing. Now, who would know why a cyborg would want to jog or not? Maybe just for fun, because certainly doesn't need it for health. So, but anyway, we talked about that. We talked about martial arts, although with her, that wouldn't be so much a hobby, you know, but if she has that dojo, you know, or Kwun, if you're more into the Chinese side of this, or gym, you know, then she would, you know, maybe, you know, use that and maybe practice her martial arts there and teach students and stuff like that. But we did figure that since being a hunter warrior, being a motorball pro is not normal, we kind of approached that like, if she's not doing this, okay, and the fact now that she's not doing that, how would she adapt? You know, how would she do with normal, being just a normal person? You know, she's kind of a normal person in a lot of ways, but you know, certainly motorball is an escape for her, and being a hunter warrior is a way she could make some money. You know, so that, you know, that would maybe stress her psyche, I guess, you know, if she's not able to do those things, you know, and she's just maybe helping Ito around the clinic and not doing anything else, you know, and so she wouldn't be making as much money and stuff like that. So what would that do to her, you know? Yeah, that's right. Biological Alita, you know, with figure 4. I can't recall. I think we did talk about that here to a degree, you know, I mean, or that might have been another stream where we talked about whether or not, you know, she hooks up with figure 4, human Alita does, and they have kids, you know, and she's a wife sort of, you know, and she's, you know, kind of, you know, doing the her and figure doing both the domestic thing and stuff like that, you know. What kind of hobbies would she have there? I think that might have been a separate stream if I remember, but anyway, any thoughts about this, you two? Maxie, since you're the Pope.
Oh dear. Well, it depends on your definition of normal life when you're talking about cyborgs.
Yeah.
Because I mean, people in the novelization were being forced to modify their bodies so that they could work better in the factory, so they could be more productive. Hugo's father in the novelization was forced to swap body parts out, and in the end it sort of drove him to depression, and he checked out. But I mean, you know, in any era there's a new normal. Like, people didn't live like the way we do in the past and won't live the way we do in the future, so it's all dependent on the situation and the trends and what's considered normal at the time. So, I mean, there's a lot of cyborgs that live in Iron City, and a lot of them sort of daydream about joining motorball and being famous and all this sort of stuff. Much like all the kids dream about being in a singing group and becoming popular and all that sort of stuff, or following their sports dreams and want to become like pro tennis players or whatever sport they happen to play. So I mean, it all sort of follows the same sort of lines. Like becoming a motorballer would be probably a lot of cyborgs' wet dream as far as what they'd want to do. But because Alita's got the Panzerkunst skills and she's completely fearless, she can just step into the motorball arena and pick it up very quickly. So that is kind of her normal because of her past training.
Yeah.
So I think that she's got such agency, even though she's got a delicate sensibilities and delicate heart, but she's got such agency that she can take on anything and do well in it. So her normal's kind of like, whatever I want.
Yeah, for her it is. Yeah. Or maybe
and it's only the fact that the world is so brutal that a lot of that gets shut down.
Yeah. Or maybe a pro power lifter, right, Max?
Well, Cyborg's kind of cheating,
Yeah, that's right. That is cheating. Yeah. Yeah. Lee, any thoughts?
Well, pretty much what Maxie was saying. I was going to say she's as adaptable as she is, as versatile as she seems to be.
Yeah.
She could probably adapt to any kind of life, really.
Yeah.
I mean, she might have desires or interests that go in other directions, but she seems to be able to settle into wherever life drops her.
Well, and that was evident in the movie, wasn't it? I mean, after sleeping for 300 years and then waking up, I mean, she just went right in.
Well, part of that is also her memory loss. She didn't have anything else, any other frame of reference to go off of. So it was just sort of like a blank slate.
And to kind of stress what Lee was saying there in the panel, we did agree all in the end. The consensus was that she is very adaptable and she would be able to adjust to a normal life. Now there would be challenges, for sure, but everybody has challenges. So, I think we all agreed that she definitely would even excel at a normal life, because one of the things she did do in the manga, is, of course, is singing and playing keyboards, in Kansas Bar 2, and she did that quite well. I mean, people enjoyed her entertaining them and stuff like that. So, we agreed, that even in a civilian body, she would do well, I think. Anyway, we'll move on because Maxie's battery will probably get down to 15% by the time we get to the end here. Now, one we did do last month was basically we discussed the Imaginos protocol itself. In other words, what is behind the Imaginos body? And basically what we talked about was, of course, we did discuss the Imaginos body, what it was, comprised of those Imaginos cells, which were based, or I guess were, I guess they were kind of like, they weren't berserker cells, but berserker cells kind of was the forerunner of the Imaginos cells. That I guess it was Nova that came up with those things, Maxie? I can't recall, but
well, how it was described, and of course translations being translations, it can be a little bit rough, but he did say that the Imaginos body was based off the berserker cells.
Yeah.
So he said, but he took out that nasty little trapdoor with the berserk mode.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's basically a souped up berserker body.
Yes.
Without the berserk mode.
Ah, damn it. Telemarketer. Anyway.
They're popular creatures.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, but we did discuss Imaginos body, you know, about what was behind it. And we talked a little bit about Imaginos 1.0, 2.0, and 2.1. And I think Chaos was with us on this one. And he brought up, I think, Imaginos 1.5, which is in Martian Memory, the game, you know. We did even discuss about, okay, she's got a brain chip here. She's no longer, you know, she's no longer a cyborg. She's an android. And we discussed whether or not her consciousness, you know, was maybe fully transferred over there, or whether it was AI, or maybe at the very least, maybe some of the gaps that were there were, you know, filled in with AI, perhaps, because I don't think Kishiro knew about AI back in 1990, but, you know, we had that discussion. We even talked about the Damascus blade, you know, and her ability, you know, in the Berserker body, you know, her retaining that combat ability. In other words, the Panzerkunst, you know, and of course, you know, how Zalem fits into the overall Alita-verse. We asked that of the Alita army itself in the chat. And we got, I don't recall all of the chats we got, but we got some fairly interesting, you know, chats behind it. And then, of course, we talked a little bit about this imagery right here. And this, of course, is AI generated. So, you know, and we kind of link that to whether or not Alita's consciousness was filled in with AI and so forth. What is this here? Dark Shadow, Dark Star Shadow. Machines with moving parts need to be moved. Otherwise, corrosion can cause, seize up, and you can possibly cold well over time. Yes, for sure. Now, the Imaginos body is not like the Berserker body in that regard. Dark Star Shadow. It's comprised of those, you know, Imaginos cells. Now, the Berserker body does have some of the machine parts, but even there, the nanites are actually, you know, kind of supplementing that somehow, you know. So I don't think it would seize up like that, because I think the nanites would, in both cases, would, you know, repair, you know, any kind of corrosion or any kind of seizing up of any kind of any mechanical parts that exist. Yes, Angelus, there is definitely uwu in everything that Alita, any body she has, except the octopus.
Oh, come on. You can't be so mean as to put down the octopus, buddy.
Oh, no, we don't.
You can get good hugs out of that one.
Yeah, maybe more than you want, Maxie. Yeah.
It was a bit tongue-in-cheek.
And of course, Dark Star Shadow is asking about the movie novelization. Yeah, I don't know if, I guess what you're referring to, what is the movie novelization, Dark Star Shadow? It's I guess a novel that Pat Cadigan wrote that they use as the basis for the movie itself, Alita Battle Angel. And there was another one she wrote that was the prequel to that, and it was, what was it called, Maxie?
It was called Iron City.
Iron City. Okay. So,
Cricky, you're slightly off course.
oh.
What happened was the novelization was written from the original script before it was modified, so it was 2 hours. So the novelization wasn't the basis for the movie; it was the other way around. But it was the original script, so there were some differences.
And I think
in the novelization.
I think you corrected me before on that too.
I think I had. Yes.
Yes. But
Now apparently there was actually some this is in big inverted commas, some novelization written about Alita's story way back in the 90s.
Oh.
And I'm trying to remember if it was written by Kishiro himself or somebody else wrote it, but it was never translated into English. It's only in Japanese. So I don't know any details about it beyond the fact that it did exist at one point. It was never published. Like, I think it was there was a very short run publication of it, but it was only for fans of the manga. It wasn't like a big release or anything like that. but I'm going to have to look back into it because I'd completely forgotten about it. But there was some stuff written about the story.
Is it on the
I don't know how
internet
much.
anywhere?
Oh, well, it may have even been on Kashiro's website at one point.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe that's where I read about it. But whenever you're translating pages from Japanese to English, things always are a bit iffy, especially Google Translate when you're reading. Because I was reading Japanese pages translated into English, and it's not always 100% clear. You kind of need a person in there to sort out the complications. Because a lot of statements in Japanese writing can mean multiple different things, and if the AI picks the wrong one, it turns into word salad.
Well, I mean, yeah, translations from Japanese to English or any other language for that matter, unless it's Chinese, I guess would be kind of an interesting little endeavor in terms of what the end product would look like, I guess. So,
well, all you have to do is do a page-by-page comparison between the Viz translation and the Cadentia translation.
yes.
And there's, admittedly, I'm pretty sure they had to make it 10% different so that they weren't copyright infringing on Viz.
Yeah, that's
so they deliberately changed a number of things. In fact, the statement that Alita makes during the motorball, where she says, "I do not stand by in the presence of evil," this is in the manga, does not exist in the Cadentia translation. And that was a huge mistake on their part. That was one of the things they shouldn't have changed because it was in the movie. So, you know.
That is in the Viz translation, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I don't have my Viz original editions with me, but I could look it up for you if I was at home, but I can't right now.
Well, I do have the credenza one, but it's upstairs, and I'm not going to get up there and go look for it now.
Well, it's not in there, so there's no point looking.
So yeah, I mean, what did they replace that phrase with?
Just some other wording, but it wasn't nearly as impactful.
Weird.
I mean, that's like her catchphrase for the entire first movie.
Yeah, it was. God.
So, I mean, we'll just change that. It's not important. Sorry, what?
It's just one of the many things I liked in the movie, of course, which was the movie actually. But okay.
I mean, it was a Cameron flourish, but the fist in the eyeball was awesome.
Oh God, yeah, I fell in love with Alita when that happened. I went, oh my God, when I saw that first time. I went, oh my God, it's great. Saiyan Jedi asked, would AI exist in Alita's time? Absolutely, I think it would. As a matter of fact, I think AI at that point would probably be sentient. That'd be my guess.
Well, Melchizedek is the perfect example. Melchizedek is an AI.
Yeah, he is. That's right. Or it is.
And then if you go into Last Order, you've got Zeus, which is the AI running the Jupiter Federation.
Yeah, and of course the manifestation of Melchizedek is Arthur. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you've got the whole deal between Zeus and Arthur to use Alita as the Last Order.
Yeah.
And she becomes basically their sword of Damocles to hang over people's heads when they're doing the wrong thing. Yeah,
that's right. She had that Fata Morgana, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, Saiyan Jedi, the AI definitely exists in Alita's time in two massively supercomputers, quantum computers, actually. So yeah, nanotech the same way, movie virtuosity, similar, I guess. Similar, yeah. Yes, Angelus, that was my favorite line in the whole movie. I fell in love with Alita with that line. It was great. Well, you say one for one simulation of real human brain. They don't go in too much detail. I think there is somewhere in the manga where they actually talk about the topology of those brain chips, don't they, Maxie? Isn't it more like it's not a single like chip. It's got, it's super advanced and got many, I don't know what it's got in it, hell with it. So
it's basically supposed to one-for-one simulate a human brain. So
yeah,
it's supposed to develop like a human brain, and develop what they call goat tracks, which is the habits. I mean, you'd have to go deep into a current understanding of brain structure and how it works, but your brain never stays the same. It's always changing.
yes,
And that's why as you get older, your perception of things changes because your brain's changing. And this is sort of like that nebulous development of wisdom that is talked about a lot. Why older people are wise, because, well, they've survived through a ton of shit, so they've got some experience to them. But also their brains, like they talk about brain development. They say at 25, the human brain is fully developed. No, actually, it's not. The human brain continues to develop all through your life until it starts to break down and you get dementia and all these sorts of things messing things up. But the human brain continues to develop and change as you get older to suit what you need at that age. So the human brain's a pretty amazing thing.
Yeah, I was talking. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and to simulate that on a chip, very, very complex.
Yeah.
And hopefully in Alita's time, they know even more about brains than we do now.
Yes.
Although, the way the technology is sort of regressing, maybe they don't. But there was at some point during the technology development of humanity that they had enough knowledge about human brains to simulate one.
Yeah.
And if you can simulate a brain and you can download the data, the memories into the chip, then the person on the chip would think that they are the original. And that's the crux of the long con that was being played on all the people of Zalem, that when they turned 18, they had their brains taken out and replaced with a chip. So, and they just weren't told about it.
Yeah, I was talking, I think I was referring more to the architecture of the brain chip internally. It would be more like a miniaturized supercluster of mini CPUs, I would think. Now, but I don't think Koshiro goes into it to that detail, though.
No. It's a bit black boxy, which I understand.
Yep. Oh, guess who just showed up out yonder? Smendrick. Yes, indeed, Smendrick. So anyway, I know one thing I've been remiss in doing. I did it a couple of times. Of course, he got a link. I don't know why he didn't join us. So anyway, anybody wants to come on, we're getting close to the end here, though. We only got a couple more slides here, but there's the link if you want to click on it and come in with us. Teleportation. See?
Well, that's an inside joke between us from lunch yesterday. We had this big diatribe while we were digesting about is teleportation, making a copy of somebody in another place and destroying the original, and what would it be like? Like, sure, there's an entity there that looks like you and thinks just like you and has all your memories, but it's not you. So you would die, but there'd be another version of you continuing on, but you wouldn't experience it because you'd be dead. So
unless
so
they
it's sort of like that.
Really intimate knowledge of consciousness where they could translate that over, but that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Well, that's the big argument. I mean, functionally, the brain that was taken out of the 18-year-old Zalamite and put into Melchizedek would be your consciousness, and whatever's running around in your body with a brain chip is not you. It's a copy of you, and you're not experiencing that. And that's kind of what the whole big con of Alita carrying that box around, not knowing it was her biological brain. That was the big con. Alita herself is the brain in the box, and she's not experiencing any of the stuff going on in Last Order, because that's happening to Brain Chip Alita, who's an android. So if it looks like you and it thinks like you and it has your memories, is it you? No, it's not, because the experiences aren't coming to you because you're a brain in a box.
Yeah, we talked about that, whether or not actual Alita's consciousness was in the brain chip or not. You know, we couldn't come to a conclusion, I think. We did say, though, that she retained her her humanity somehow. I mean, just how she, dealt with other people, and, she was still kind in a lot of ways, like she was after she met Figure 4 anyway. That, she was like the same there, but we could not decide whether or not, like you were saying, Maxie, we couldn't decide whether or not it was actually her consciousness or her sentience per se. We just,
well, what Kishiro was getting across was that the copy thinks it's the real thing until it finds out otherwise.
Yeah.
But the real thing is like shut down. It's in a box. It's not getting any new information. And I think that was deliberate, because Nova wanted to see if the copy could share the same karma as the original, because it has all the same thoughts and mental processes.
Yeah.
But it's simulated. So he was trying to see if the karma cyclone around the original Alita would follow this this copy. And I think he got his answer with her winning the Zot, in that it's the thought processes and the intent of the construct started out the same as the original Alita, and then continued growing from there. So it has the same karma because it will undertake the same actions, or actions that the other one would have taken.
Yes.
Up to a certain point. But it's all part of Nova's experimentation, and he's such a bastard for screwing with people's lives.
Yeah, he is. Lee, do you remember much from this stream about what we talked about here? I think I might have hit everything, but I'm not sure.
Not really, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I remember it vaguely, but I don't remember specific details, really.
Okay. All right. Well, we can move on then. Now, this is interesting, because I didn't expect this one to come up, because looking at the number of views and stuff like that. Because when we did this stream, there was, there couldn't have been more than maybe 4 people in the chat, maybe 5, kind of like this one started out, I guess. But when the next day I looked at it, it had 150 views. So, and I would, one of the things I explained earlier was that the main reason for that is that probably 3/4 of my subscribers are in Asia, and only 1/4 of them here, or little less than 1/4 is here in the US. And then a smattering of others, like Maxie is an example, and Vladi and all are in Europe and Australia and so forth, and Germany, like Smendrick is. So that's why the view count went up, after the stream was over, and that's not unusual for my stream. But we did this stream the day before the Radio Chaos Christmas stream, where we read Holy Night. And some of the things we talked about, of course, was that the culture in Iron City is different than it is, in the Western world. And people are more into survival mode than they are just, living whatever comfortable life they're living. I'm so sure that they probably have moments of comfort, in Iron City, but the culture itself, the society is pretty different, because it is dystopian. Now, and that brought on the question, okay, would they even celebrate Christmas? And I guess some of us, Lee, you included, I think, thought maybe not everybody, but maybe some people would. Certainly Ito would, because he knew about Christmas, and he did celebrate, or he did know about Christmas in Holy Night. And if they do, would they gather with family members and friends gather? Would they still give gifts? And what we came up with there is that people are in such a bad way there financially, let's say, or resource wise, that if they did give any gifts, it would be they would be very inexpensive, maybe handmade stuff, you know, and not like go lavish, like, you know, kids in the Western world, in a lot of cases, you know, they just get bombarded with toys. Well, that would not happen in Iron City. They probably would do Christmas dinner, those that did celebrate Christmas, and they would probably have treats, you know, that they would eat. We weren't sure about religious services, except that maybe a few people, you know, because they do have a church there in the church is dilapidated, but they do have a church in the movie. So we assume that there probably are some people that maybe are Christians that are there, or maybe other religions. And then, of course, there is that one religion that thinks Zalem is heaven. You know, that's another one. And whether or not they would decorate for Christmas, whether they would celebrate in ways like parades. If they did do a parade, it would be a very simple thing that we would not understand today, probably. Maybe just a handful of people that are, you know, just walking down the street celebrating or something like that, you know. So anyway, that's what we came up with last week. And Lee, I think you had the biggest thoughts about some of this stuff. What did you do? You remember what some of your feedback was here? Because I think I hit everything, but I could have missed something.
No, you pretty well hit everything. I was going kind of off of the manga, in which Christmas and a lot of holidays had probably been forgotten. But because people, you know, people being people, they can't be miserable all the time. They're going to seek some kind of enjoyment in life.
Yeah.
So even if they might forget the old traditions and things, they're going to create new ones.
Yeah.
So they'll find some way to have, you know, family get-togethers. Maybe if it's an extended family, especially, you've got like a lot of people that can come together and maybe celebrate a milestone, the birth of a new child, a promotion at work, or, you know, what have you.
Yeah.
Or a wedding. Weddings are actually a fairly common celebration.
Yeah. Well, we did say probably a significant number of people, if not most of them, did celebrate Christmas in Zalem, because that.
Yes, that one, Zalem seems to have a fairly strong connection still to the past. It's at least going by the manga.
Yeah.
They've got a education system that seems to fill people in on some of the things that, you know, came before. Not all of it, of course, because, you know, they want to keep control over that. But
yes. So anyway, we had a good time last week on this one. We didn't have a lot of people in the stream, that's for sure, or in the chat. But you know, once again, we had a bunch of people that looked at it afterwards. So, you know, which is the normal case for my streams anyway. So. Okay, well, now we come to the part where Lee comes in, I guess. And Lee, you're not going to pick your brain completely, don't worry. But we have actually done, in 2025, we did 9 episodes of Lee reading Ghost in the System, you know, and it's a really, for me, it's a really enjoyable thing, you know, and as I was telling him, Lee, at the beginning, you know, I've read most of Ghost in the System up to chapter 26, I think, something like that. And I'm still short, maybe 4 chapters. But, you know, in a nutshell, what happens is that Jason Deschaines, which is Lee's primary character there, he's teleported to the 26th century, not by a teleportation machine, but more like what you would think of as a natural or an anomaly that occurs, a time.
Yeah, an anomalous disruption of some sort.
Yeah, of some sort. And he gets caught up in it. He's driving his truck from point A to point B. I don't recall if he was going to.
Yeah, he was going to go see a house that his fiance had
found or something. Yeah,
had laid a down payment or something on for them to start moving into.
Yeah, and that was in Washington or Oregon. I can't.
Washington State.
Yeah, Washington State. And so he's driving there, and all of a sudden he gets caught up in this temporal anomaly, and he gets transported up to Alita's time, type thing. And it's done some weird things to his body, because he's not from the 26th century, he's from the 21st century. And physiology, I guess, from going through the time displacement.
He got altered a little bit.
Yeah, he got altered. That's right. To the point to where Ito's, kind of his medical devices and, for.
Is that right though? From my understanding from reading the story is that he actually came from an alternate universe, and that's why.
Well, I wasn't trying to necessarily spoil it too much, but yeah, you do find out in a later chapter that he's also from a parallel Earth 550 years in the past.
Oh, okay. Is that beyond chapter 26, Lee?
No, that was previous to that.
Oh,
he may have just forgotten
I've forgotten about it. Yeah. Okay.
It was a very quick little thing. It wasn't something I like dwell on.
Well, he does talk to it interdimensional.
It's those quick little things that make all the difference, man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, man, I might, shit, I don't remember everything I read.
Yeah, that's pretty normal, I think. So.
Well, he does talk to an interdimensional traveler that's aware of Alita herself, himself, but he does go to work for a guy that owns a small farm, not one of the big factory farms. And, they go, he and what's her name? It's not Rebecca. It's
Loretta,
yeah.
Yeah, the farmer's daughter.
The farmer's daughter who likes him, not romantically, but, likes
They
him.
get along.
Yeah, they get along very well, like good friends. And they, she talks him into going to Iron City with him. Let's go to the city. Let's have fun, that kind of thing. I'm pretty honest,
Well, he kind of got roped into it because there wasn't really anybody else, and they decided he was the most trustworthy worker they had to go in with Loretta by themselves.
Yeah. So anyway,
and he was against it for good reasons.
He didn't want to. Yeah, that's right. But anyway, they get him in there, and of course he nearly gets killed because he witnesses a cyborg.
Yeah, he does something that most people in Iron City would not do. He stuck his nose in where he probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to save somebody. It looked like they were about to get murdered.
And of course he gets pretty well trashed. And then Ito, kind of takes care of him. And of course, any of Ito's medical devices, and he fits him with cyberware and stuff like that, but it won't work, because his physiology is not compatible with the cyberware or the devices that Ito has.
Well, he's been placed slightly out of phase in a way.
Yes.
Which is preventing the signals from crossing a sort of a boundary, if you will.
Yep. But anyway, he has this very negative perception of Alita because he's seen her on the big screen, and she's just kicking
well,
back.
It's a combination of his first impressions of her, seeing her on the motorball track ripping people apart, as well as the brutality of the world he now finds himself in. And people with a lot of power and strength don't tend to be nice people in his experience.
Yes, that's right. So he meets Alita and finds out gradually that, hey, she's a pretty nice person,
Yeah, she's not the person I thought she was.
Yeah, which happens to a lot of times when you meet people that you don't know,
Yeah.
But anyway, he helps Doc Ito around the clinic, doing stuff, and then of course this character named Finra breaks in, and he attacks Gearhead, and of course he once again, this is a guy that he can't stay out of something where there's evil or whatever. Maybe he's like Alita.
Yeah, he sees somebody who might be getting hurt. He has to do something to try to stop it.
Yeah.
Even if he's got no power to back that up.
And Fenrir, who's another motorballer, I guess, is who has a.
Yeah, he was somebody that Alita humiliated on the track.
Yeah, and he hates her, and he damn near kills Jason, and really trashes him even worse than the first time when he got it. And of course, Ito, kind of, brings him back, kind of nurses him back to health, type of thing. And then eventually the cyberware that he's fitted with works, And he spends most of the time in this story in a wheelchair up to the point of chapter 24 or 3 or somewhere in there, you know.
No, it's about chapter, let's see, 20, probably 21. No, 21 was his little vision quest thing. I think it was 22.
22. Okay, well, I missed it by one chapter. But
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, the cyber parts wouldn't work on him because they weren't compatible with him, you know, because he's out of phase. But eventually they do come around, they adapt, I guess. And his body adapts probably as well. So, and I'm sure I left out a lot of stuff.
Well, they seem to adapt to him because once they start working with him, Ito realizes they're not showing, the parts he installed aren't showing up on his scanners anymore either.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, they make a trip out to where his truck crashed when it got teleported, and they go through the Zalem, and they don't detect him because he can't, the devices won't, you know, they don't register him, you know, he's invisible, you know, kind of thing.
In a manner of speaking, yeah. I mean, if they were to ever use any thermals or, you know, sonar type systems or something like that, those would pick him up easily.
Well, they could see him, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
You know, electromagnetic radiation in the visual range certainly wasn't an issue here. But yeah, you're right. Like thermals or some other detection just didn't work because he was out of phase, you know. So, you know, which is consistent with what I've read in physics about if you go from one universe to the other, that would be the best case scenario, that you'd be out of phase. The worst case, of course, that you just would disintegrate like that. But and I'm so sure I missed a bunch. He goes to a motorball game with Alita, or he goes to more than one, doesn't he? He goes to several. So
he goes to a couple. Yeah.
So what else, Lee? I mean, I'm running my mouth. So
I think you pretty well covered it. Not necessarily in the chronological order it appears in the story, but
yeah, well,
a lot happens. I mean, most of it was basically me trying to portray a man dealing with mental illness, suffering through trying to settle into a life in a very hostile environment without any of the power and capability that Alita has. But fortunately ends up falling into the company of people like Alita and Ito, who help him out quite a bit.
Yes.
You forgot the whole point of him having a different set of morals to what keeps you alive in Iron City. That's probably his biggest downfall.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a bit like, what was it, Fallout, Lucy. She always tries to follow the golden rule, and it tends to bite her on a number of occasions. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but...
Yes, Angelus, I have not read chapter 10 yet. The manga.
Volume 10. Volume.
But yeah, Jason has to deal with mental illness and very old-fashioned values that he's trying to hold on to desperately, even though they are a detriment to his chances at survival, because he feels a certain obligation to hold on to. Well, he feels that the beliefs and principles that those morals provide him are more important to some degree than just mere survival.
Yeah.
Well, they're part of his identity.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
It's very hard to shed parts of your identity.
Very hard.
That's one of the reasons he has tried so hard not to gain much more in the way of cybernetics. He's got a fear that too much of that's going to cause him to lose himself, despite the fact that, you know, Alita is living proof that that's not necessarily the case.
And there's
wasn't Ito trying to convince him to go TR because, you know, enough of him has been wrecked now that it's kind of pointless to keep all the busted stuff?
Well,
and
he
like,
had
no, this is me.
His only organic limb that remains, his right arm, has some pretty bad early onset arthritis going on. Plus, there's problems with bone densities. There's some other health related issues with his, you know, age and whatnot. And yeah, Ito has suggested a couple of times that, at the very least, get your other arm replaced, because it's just going to, break badly, which it does.
Yes. Fellers, if you lifted weights, your bone density would increase. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Maxie to get back into weightlifting.
Yeah, I have actually done a little bit of weightlifting. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, the doctor said it did not help that much.
Oh.
Yeah, it seems I may have a somewhat more serious problem than just, a little bit of loss of bone density.
Yeah, I guess that's with any exercise. It depends on the person, doesn't it? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Humans are not a one size fits all.
Full TR?
What's that?
Are you going to go full TR?
Am I?
Yeah.
Maybe
me personally? Maybe. I would have to think about it. I would have to see what the full TR whole system, would end up looking like in the real world.
Yeah.
I know my girlfriend would love to, because in the shape her body's in, she's in constant pain. If she were able to get a new body that didn't do all that and had a much better, she wasn't in constant pain, was able to do all the stuff she could do when she was younger, she'd jump at the chance. And that's something she and I had already talked about. She said, yeah, I'd love to have a cyborg body.
Now, one other thing that bothers me about this, so does that mean now I can't just wait till I'm 614 or 8,614 years old to meet Alita? I got to hunt out that damn temporal anomaly to transport me to that other universe. Is that what I got to do, Lee?
No, I think you could just take the long way around.
Well, maybe. So anyway, so we've really enjoyed these stories. I mean, they've been they're great, and I definitely want Lee to come back and continue, which I think he will. So
no, I certainly would not mind. No.
Yeah.
Maybe. If people are really enjoying them, I'm certainly happy to share them.
Yeah.
But Lee, there's a big problem.
Hmm.
Do you know what it is?
Chapter 31.
Yes.
You're going to catch up to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the Creaky's got a long way to go to catch up, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If he finishes chapter 31 soon, I'm going to have to read 5 chapters to catch up. So yeah.
Well, trust me, Creaky, it's no different from not being caught up to being caught up. You're still going to be waiting. Yeah,
probably. But I promise, Lee, I won't be like Maxie and be twisting the knife in you all the time about it.
No, Maxie hasn't been that bad.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, I just keep him honest, that's all.
Yes, Angelus, I gotta read volume 10 of Mars Chronicles. Yes.
I get the impression that he wants you to deal with a volume 10.
Yes, I think he does,
So that should be number 1 on the reading list, and then catch up with Lee's work, and then you can start on mine.
Yes. Well, Angelus, maybe that's something I can do. I can read chapter 10 and buy chapter 11 and read that on the way to London, huh? How do you feel about that, Angelus?
That sounds like a good idea to me.
Volume 11's not out in English until February.
Well, yeah, that's right. I won't be able to read chapter 11, will I? That's right. Well, I guess I'll have to read chapter 10 then.
It's volume.
Yeah, that's
we're way past chapter 10.
I have to do on one of the live streams. Say, yeah, I read chapter 10 now, Angelus. I read it on the flight over to London. And
Creaky, it's volume, not chapter.
Well, shit.
Way past chapter 10.
I don't give a shit. I'll even 10 then.
Oh, man.
So that'll make Angelus, won't it? Yeah, or Angelus Angeli, or whatever.
If you meet Rosa again, Angelus's heart's going to explode, I swear.
Yeah. His heart, his head, everything. Oh, boy.
But I just want to say that my favorite episodes of your live stream, Creaky, this year have all been the Ghost in the System ones. I've really enjoyed them. I've made sure I was there for all the ones I was told about. There's one I wasn't told about and missed it, but all the times I was told, I was there. So.
Oh shit! Well, sorry. But yeah, I'm with you. I really enjoy these too as well. You know, I mean, it's you know, it's fun. To me, it's like new content for Alita. You know, I mean, you know, we don't have our sequel yet, but I am extremely confident we're going to get it, and I'll leave it.
I think I'm Lee's number 2 fan. I can't claim the number 1 spot. That's his girlfriend, but I'll take number 2.
Oh Jesus! Well, no, she's not my girlfriend. So, so what's this Angeli's guy going? Have you read that? Hold on the cards because there's nothing I would be Angeli. Okay. Well, maybe Angelus, we can both meet Rosa at a premiere or something. Who knows? You know, you could fly to the States, or I could fly to Australia, and you know. So anyway, yeah, we've enjoyed this, Lee.
I'm very glad to hear it. I mean, as gratifying as it is to hear how people have enjoyed it, it's still really difficult for me to grasp that people are enjoying it as much as they are.
Right. I mean, it's new. It's like new things about Alita, you know. Now, granted, it's not canon, but you know, who gives a shit about that? You know, for me, you know, I mean, you know, it's cool. You know, we like it.
While I'm always keen to see a new chapter, I'm actually pleased that you're taking your time with it because the final product's very good quality.
Yeah.
You're not just like pumping it out or anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid that.
Yeah, you don't want to rush it. Yeah,
there were actually some earlier versions of the other chapters that I did do that on, and I always had to go back and do something about it because it never turned out that well.
Well,
you have my problem. The perfectionism gene keeps expressing.
Well, I know I've enjoyed every chapter I've read, so you know. Anyway, all right. Well, anyway, we're getting on, I guess, with it. Any last thoughts, Maxie, before I let Lee give us a last thought about his fanfic?
I'm looking forward to the next Alita Livestream episode where we get more chapters, and I'm looking forward to the new chapters that I can read because I'm up to date. And keep at it, Lee. You're doing very well, mate.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Any last thoughts on this one, Lee?
Other than I hope I can keep it an interesting and entertaining story. Not really.
All right. Well, I think you will. Well, there's one thing I didn't put in here because because I guess the visuals are so different. But that is when we read the Mars Chronicles. I think we got up to like chapter 20, whatever, not chapter, volume, or whatever. Hell, I don't know. Anyway, 22, whatever it is. On the Mars Chronicles. Those are another thing I enjoy too, because that's more Alita content. Now that is canon, obviously, but you know, it's for me, it's also enjoyable. You know, I mean, it's I really like the reads. It's just like I enjoy the manga readings on Radio Chaos. I enjoy those as well. You know, because it's. I mean, you know, we've only got one movie, but we got the entire manga and we got fanfics. So it's, you know, this is what we're all about. You know, we want more Alita. That's what we want, you know, so.
I believe there's a song that mentions that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, saying Jedi. Yep, we want Disney to give us those damn sequels for Christ's sake. That's what we want. All right, did we miss anything, fellers?
Nothing I can think of.
Well,
well covered.
Oh, go ahead, Maxie. Sorry.
I think it's pretty well covered.
All right, cool. Well, as you can see from that center panel right there, Alita does love her Uncle Creek, and that's because he wants those sequels just like she does. And if you got a problem with her loving her Uncle Creek, you can take it up with her and you can face that plasma weapon. Yeah, that's what you can do. So anyway, that's that. This is our queen right here. And of course, she is #1 in the Creeks book in terms of being an actor, because she is fabulous. I mean, just magnificent. I mean, we are so fortunate that she was selected to play Alita. Thank you, Rob Rod, for that one. And I know when I went to see her play at perform at the Pasadena Playhouse, she was phenomenal. Just truly awesome up on stage. And I am really psyched about seeing her in High Noon. You know, that's going to be really cool. You know, traveling over to the UK. Lottie and I and a surprise visitor are going to have a beer. You know, so anyway, that'll be kind of cool. You know, because I think the theater there, the Harold Pinter Theater, has a bar. So we will have a beer there. And I know Vladi hopefully he's looking forward to it as well. I also want to give shout outs to El Lamont and Jesse Fisher, because they brought Screwhead to life. And what I want is Alita and Screwhead to kind of team up. And, you know, they're going to be on the same team and taking on Joshigan's team, because I'm sure that's the way they'll do it in the movie. I don't know if, Maxie, do you think they'll do the Emperor Joshigan thing, or do you think they'll just have like 2 teams?
They kind of will lose a lot of the dynamic and the challenge of the Motorball arc, which then comes back in Ouroboros and various other points where she's thinking about Joshigan in the future, if they don't have him as the pinnacle. They've sort of set him up as the biggest contender for final champion, but he doesn't seem to be Emperor Joshigan yet. So that's why in my fanfic I've written it in that he's been adjusted to become Emperor Joshigan. It's just a matter of, rather than it being in the past, I put it into the actual story. So he goes from being pretty good to being awesome, which gives Alita a lot more challenge.
Yeah, it does give her more challenge. I could also see, though, where they had 2 teams, and he's still the #1 Motorball player, you know, and then all the teams get whittled down until it's just him and Alita. You know, I could see that working. I kind of would like to see the Emperor Joshigan thing, though, because that's like, she has to be like superhero level, you know, abilities, you know, to take on Emperor Joshigan, you know, because he's pretty OP, I think. So
I can kind of foresee them doing something like what Maxie has in his, where basically Nova decides, however inadvertently, on Joshigan's behalf, using Joshigan as a way of basically just stopping Alita and destroying her. And by doing so, in order to do so, he augments Joshigan's Motorball body with, you know, technology they don't normally have available in Iron City.
Yeah. Anyway, we want all 3 of these ladies to be in the sequel. They deserve it, Disney. Come on, let's get with it, damn it. We want the sequels. Give it to us. If you give us the sequels, Disney, we will spend our money. We will, you know, many folks in the Elite Army will go see Alita 2 100 times plus. I'm so sure we will buy the streaming to it. We will buy merch. Angelus is already buying merch. We will buy games. You know, we want to do anime. I mean, we want a live action series. Come on, Disney, for Christ's sake, give us, or as the Aussies would say, crikey, give us the damn.
Cricky, I was going to say about Angelus buying merch. He showed me his Badlands Alita crushing the head of a socket soldier, and oh my god, it is awesome. I want one. It is beautiful.
Now I'm angelic.
The photos do not do it justice. It sits up there on a the top of a bookcase next to his bed, and you just look up at it, and it's just so beautiful. I just can't describe the difference about seeing it in real life compared to photos. Photos are good, but real life, it's just like, wow, that thing is awesome.
Oh, God, I'm Angeli now.
You should be. We all should be. It's a beautiful piece of work, and if I had the space and the permission, I'd get one, but I have neither.
Well, I definitely could get one if I want one, because, you know, me, I'm me. I'm not me and somebody else.
I don't think you'd regret it, Creaky. I really don't. It is beautiful.
Well, it's kind of like the Prime One Studios figure itself, you know, the 1/4 figure. You know, its photos are really nice too, you know, but it's not like seeing it live or in person, you know. I mean, it's just a lot different. I agree with you. It's much better to see the actual, you know, figure than it is just seeing you know, an image of it, you know. So anyway.
But yes, Angeli did well for himself.
I'm sorry?
Angeli did well for himself.
Yes, he does. He's sure buying the merch, isn't he? Yeah, I love it. So anyway, yeah, I might have to catch up with him, I guess, somehow. So anyway, yeah, we all three of these ladies are up there near the top in Creek's book, that's for sure, if not on the top. So anyway, there you have it. Maxie, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, well, sorry I don't have a nice thumbnail, but as I'm traveling, I don't have my computer to make pretty pictures at the moment. But this episode is not going to be that much different from what you've just watched, in that we're going to go through the top 10 episodes of the year based on viewership, and we're going to talk about the details of those. I've done a bunch of stats on who was at what stream, how many times people have shown up, which there wasn't anything too surprising there. But we'll go through that. We'll talk about things that have happened this year, things that Alita Army have done, stuff that Rose has done. We might even squeak in some covering some artwork if Channel's around, and Vladdy. And basically, we'll talk about what's been happening in 2025 as far as Alita is concerned, and then we'll move on to some predictions for next year. So do join us for that one. It will be the last one for 2025, and we'll be covering what we've been up to in 2025. So it should be fun.
Cool. Yeah, join us for that. The Creek actually streams that one too. So, yeah, I love it. I don't need that. Anyway, what we do have, if anybody's interested, we have something that's an after party called the Stammtisch. And basically, it's the same link that I put in the stream already, but this is not streamed. This is just us, you know, kind of like on a, you know, go-to meeting or Microsoft Teams or Zoom call. You know, nobody on the internet except just the panel that you see here. And if you come on, you as well, and you can talk to us. We do some interesting things there. You know, we'll show some pictures. You know, we'll show a video or two. We chat about various things, you know, in the after party, and just we have a good time doing this, and it's completely relaxed. I mean, not that this stream is not relaxed anyway, but even this is even more relaxed. But a neat thing about this is if you're looking, if you're a little hesitant about getting into participating in a live stream or something like that, then this is a really good first start. You can get in there and see, hey, these guys in the Elite Army, they're not all that bad. You know, they're, you know, we're extended family, we're friends, you know, and we just love Alita, we love Rosa, we want more of Alita, you know, sequels and merch and so forth. We talk about all different kinds of things, and it's just a lot of fun. We just enjoy it a lot. So anyway, that once again, there's the link. If you want to come on, you know, there it is. You click on it. you'll be in backstage while the stream is still going on. And when the stream ends, I'll pull you in, and then, you know, we just chat about anything, show any images we want to show, and videos and so forth. We are the Alita Army. We are Alita advocates. We strongly support Alita and Rosa Salazar passionately and positively. We are the most friendly fandom on the internet. You know, we have a lot of varied, you know, kind of opinions about things, different politics, which we don't talk about politics, thank God. And we, you know, just, you know, we're in all different directions, but we have one uniting principle, is we want those sequels, and we will do what it takes to get them as much as we can do it. And we are the Alita Army. We are here to stay. We are not going anywhere. And when the Creek is 614 years old, he will still be doing these streams in some form. I am so sure, you know. And you know, it's a fun fandom, and we're glad you guys are out there. And you know, this stream is like Radio Chaos. You know, even though this is my channel, this stream is all of ours. You know, you guys, you know, I'm happy that you know, that you view, you know, this channel live, you view the streams and stuff like that. And it's, you know, I appreciate it a lot. And, you know, it's just our thing. We are all in this together. We're fighting for those sequels. Any last thoughts, Maxie?
I think you covered it pretty well. It's been a great year for the Alita live stream, and hopefully there'll be lots of good news next year, and we'll have lots more to talk about because there'll be more Alita on the way. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
How about you, Lee?
Well, my last thought would be, apparently the cat decided to give my girlfriend a gift, and it got loose in the bedroom and is now hiding in the closet.
We won't ask what that gift is.
It was a live one.
Yeah, tiny, 4-footed, and squeaks.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, Maxie, you know about cats.
Oh, yeah, I do. My cat's too lazy to catch mice, though.
Uh-oh.
The best he'll go after is lizards.
Oh, lizards. Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, the cat we've got is definitely catching mice. Unfortunately, she has stopped killing them and just kind of lets them go again.
Whoa.
So not really much of a mouser anymore.
And, you know, you really...
catch and release system.
Mm-hmm.
More sustainable.
Is it hard to train cats? Maybe you could train the cat to take the mouse outside.
Well, she's not an outdoor cat, so she's not allowed outside.
So that's not happening then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we've hit this pretty good. So why is this image there? Well, that image is there because I like it. And to paraphrase Gruwishka, I'm only here for our girl and our queen and the Alita Army. And that leads us to one last thing. That would be the call to action on my count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Film those sequels, baby.
Well, thanks for joining us on the Alita live stream. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you tomorrow on Radio Chaos. Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita live stream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.
No cause is lost, if there was but one fool left to fight for it.